Yo, what's up, everybody? I decided to make something a little bit different today. Um, I got my song that's unreleased right now. It's called I'd Rather Burn. Uh, I'm just gonna go over a little bit of like how this kind of shit is made, how a song is made. I'm gonna teach you a little bit of shit about BandLab as well. I use BandLab to record vocals, and then I've been using FL Studio to make beats. Eventually, I will probably do everything on FL. But for now, this is where I will continue to do my vocals and stuff like that. The cool thing about BandLab is that it's like all saved on the cloud and you can like you could start a band on there. So if you make a project like this, whoever's in the band can actually go in and do work on it or lay vocals down or anything like that. And that's kind of how me and the homies make music. We just kind of like, you can even make, say I made the song and I needed like another person on there. I could literally just invite him to the project and boom, he's on it and he can do whatever he wants to it and, you know, lay his shit down and boom. And we can take turns mixing. Um, and yeah, we just come up with ideas like, we bounce back and forth. That's a good way to collab. That's what I love about BandLab. Um, Also, BandLab, I used to use Personas back in the day, although I didn't really mix too much. Mostly, John did, Broke Mata. He used to do the mixing for the majority of the things, pretty much everything. Uh, but I was still around so much that I picked up on Personas and stuff like that. I would say this is like a little bit more easier to use than something like that. And I think of it as like if it's easy, it's just time saving, which time saving will allow you to make more music and like stuff like that, keep shit moving, that's what I love about it. You know. Anyway, let's uh start with the beginning. I found a nice beat that I really liked. Just a nice acoustic, chill type of vibe, and I'll play it a little bit here. And then I'll stop there. But yeah, so that's what we got with the vibe. How I made this song is obviously found the beat and I was like, I kind of like this, I could see something on here. I didn't have no plan or anything, no lyrics. I was actually in a writer's block mood, but I still wanted to create something. So like that's usually how it happens. Even if I don't have like an idea, I might just throw the beat on, see what happens. And that's kind of what happened here. And very thankful I did, because if I didn't, hop in and start creating that day, this would have never happened. And this is like one of my favorite songs. The people that I've showed it to, it's one of their favorite songs. Um, so yeah, let's just continue on here. I will open up the effects here on the vocals so I can kind of go over a little bit of that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna overdo it though, because like, especially if you have never used any kind of software to make music or anything, a lot of this probably seems like gibberish to you. Um, but I'll try to go over a little bit of it. And yeah, I don't know. Don't know if this video even turns out good, honestly. But I thought it would be cool to just allow you guys to come in and see a little bit more of the process. And then, yeah, I think that's only good. And maybe people can learn along the way. Another thing about BandLab is you don't need a fancy PC to uh to run it. You just need well, you don't really need a fancy PC for any software, but I'm saying like you can literally, if you had a phone, you could make a song. You can make a song off a phone and it can actually sound really good if you work hard enough to get to know what you're doing, I could make a song on a phone, you know. Um, but being that I have a PC and I have a mic and stuff like that, I prefer to use that because the goal is to make everything the most professional you can. But there's songs out there that people have made on a phone that you would have thought they were in a $10,000 studio, you know? So let's get started here. Yeah, we'll let it build in a little bit. I'll move this so you can see a little bit more of what's going on. Yeah. Well, the light arrived hungry, it just ate the dark. And these times I'll cherish before they even start. My, oh my, I feel high up a decker. And my, oh my, we just made another record. So, I guess the first thing that I saw, I don't know what to talk about, dude. I've never did this before, so bear with me. Uh, when I'm creating, I just fucking do shit that I know what I need to do, but I'm gonna try to give you guys info about just random shit, I guess. I don't know. But you can see how this is like, just a normal, you see this dark blue up here? Okay, that's staying consistent all the way until you see it dropping off here. Well, all that is, I mean, we could show you here. So like all that does is really just kind of quiets it down in like a decrescendo type of way. So like if you don't have it, made another record. Okay, I do that. Made another record. I don't know if you guys can see the difference there, but it's not even that big of a difference. It's more of subtle. All it's doing is just kind of like see how this peaks up a little bit higher. I just wanted to close that down a little bit, like just bring that down just a tad. So it's just a little bit more smoother, you know? Made another record. Just like, made another record. Like that kind of shit, you know? Made another record. And lyric writing on this, people have different ways of writing lyrics. Sometimes I do other forms of writing lyrics, like maybe I'll write in my notes more of like a poem type of thing. But in this case, I did it to my normal, usual type of shit where I play the beat. I kind of figure out where I'm supposed to come in at. Yeah. Well, the light arrived home. So that little drop there is where I chose to come in. And I just kind of like freestyle a little bit. Like sometimes I might just go dun 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 dun, try to come up with a melody and then maybe fill the words in. Sometimes when I'm just at the mic, yeah, I think that was the case here. Yeah, and I was just like, well, the light arrived hungry, it just ate the dark, and I almost fucked up the lyrics there, but it's a new song, so it's hard to remember. I wrote it in my notes and fucking read it, But yeah, that's kind of how I do it. And then so I have this down, right? And then say I just freestyle. Well, the light arrived hungry, it just ate the dark, and these times are cheers. I didn't freestyle that whole thing, just to let you know. I've did shit like that before, but this one in this case, I really just came up with this first thing right here. Well, the light arrived hungry. Well, the light arrived hungry, and then I went and was like, well, all right. Well, actually, no, I said, well, the light arrived hungry, it just ate the dark, And then I was like, perfect. That's a good start. Wrote that down. Just ate the dark, and these times I'll cherish before they even start. And then I went on to write that part, and you could see how I kind of did it in a little bit of chunks. Like this, I probably sang this part, deleted it, and then wrote the next part, and then said it all in one. And then here, I just see, like, I could take this away. So that's all you would have saw, okay? Well, the light arrived. Then there's nothing there. So I would have wrote the next part, it's just kind of like punch-in method.
Well, that is. My, oh my, I feel high up a decker. And my, oh my, we just made another record.
So a little bit of like, is there a way that I can just mute all of the mix? I don't think I can. Because I could show you like what the raw version sounded like compared to the mixed version. It's not like the point about mixing is, yes, to make your voice sound better, but it doesn't really make you sound better. If you can't sing, you're still gonna sound like shit. And I can't sing, but I at least use it like good enough. You know what I mean? You still have to hit notes and all that kind of stuff. Mixing is more, you can bring levels up, you can bring them down, you can you can add some reverb so that way it kind of like intertwines with the beat. It doesn't sound like a raw vocal right on top of a beat, like unprofessional. Like if you put a beat on and you were just rapping in your phone, no mixing or anything, it would kind of be like that. So like you're trying to weave your vocals kind of like into the beat in a way, if that makes sense, you know?
Well, the light arrived hungry, it just ate the dark. And these times are cheers before they even start. My, oh my, I feel high up a decker. And my, oh my, we just made another record.
So if you don't know what reverb is, like think about if you were yelling in a bigger room or even like a bathroom. You know that like that sound, like right now it's Chris, right? But if I was in a bathroom like singing or something, you just hear that little bit of like echo type whatever. That's reverb. So I have 20% reverb to give me more of a sound of like what I'm talking about. Size, I'll show you the difference here.
Yeah. Well, the light arrived hungry.
Okay, that's that. If I were to turn the size up to 100.
Yeah. Well, the light arrived.
You hear that? After I pause it, it's a little bit more. If I turn the mix all the way up.
Yeah.
See it? I mean, obviously, pretty ugly of a sound, but that's what reverb is. And a lot of you guys know that, but a lot of people don't know that. So, I will say there's these one knob things that BandLab came out with. And those are really just like easy access, quality of life for like maybe a beginner. Even I would use them sometimes just because there's certain things that I think they can do better. Or at least give me the certain sound that I'm looking for. And sometimes it's just because it's fucking easy and fast. So I'll just do something like that. Actually, Broke Mata is the guy that started using those first and told me, like, you should start using these one knob things sometimes. I was like, all right. And he actually hopped on some mixing. I didn't mix this whole thing by myself. So what I do a lot of the time is like I go in, lay the vocals, I mix as much as I can, try to find the sound that I'm going for. And then I tweak some shit, try to get it sounding pretty good. And then I send it to John because he's another creative. So, a second. I send it to John because he's another creative, and it gets another a second opinion on what could be better, what could be, changed. So that's kind of that process. And then even with his music, he has me do some stuff too. We kind of just take turns on that kind of shit because we're trying to make the best song possible. And sometimes you just need that extra brain on the project. So
Times are cheers before they even start. My, oh my, I feel high up a decker. And my, oh my, we just made another record.
Alright, so this is the one thing that I use a lot. It's called the graphics EQ. Spent a lot of time using this to figure out, um, like, what works really good with my voice, and it's always different depending on the song, but for an example, let me show you. This left side, you could think of it as more of the bass side. This right side, you could think of more of as, like, a hi-hat, I guess. So, like, I'll just turn the bass side all the way up for you guys, right?
Well, the light arrived hungry, it just ate the dark.
See how it
And
added
these
more
times
bass?
are cheers before they even start. My oh my, I feel high up there.
And then if I turn this one all the way up,
Well, the light arrived hungry, it just ate the dark. And these times are cheers before they even start.
you know what I mean?
My oh my.
And when you first add the graphics EQ, I'll just do it right now. They all come out flatline. So if I were to take this one away,
Well, the light arrived hungry,
not much
it just
different,
ate the dark.
but there is definitely.
Well, the light arrived hungry, it just ate the dark. And these times are cheers before they even
What
start.
else?
My oh my.
Another cool thing about BandLab that I'll show you guys, and when you first start using BandLab, you'll probably be using this kind of shit a lot of the time. When you start to get it figured out, that you might pick these for a bass, kind of like what I do, like just like, okay, I'm trying to find the sound that I'm going for. It's way quicker than adding all these things individually, which you can easily do too. I've did that many times too, but like, let me see. Why BandLab's dope though, especially if you are new. So like today you could literally go download BandLab, try to create a song, use some presets to find because you're not gonna know shit about mixing if you're new. You're not gonna know anything. So at least you got something that will, help you along. They even have real people that have made or presets, and you can use those for free. They're just saved out in the cloud and you can actually use them from other artists right here. Like if I were to change this shit,
Well, the light arrived
like look at if we went vintage,
ate the dark. And these times are cheers before they even
you know what I mean? So you could find different sounds like that.
I feel high up protector. My oh my, we just made another record.
I'm gonna use one that I have built already though. Because this song's already mixed. I figured it would have been cool if it wasn't mixed yet, and I was kind of going over. Maybe one day I'll make a video where the song's not done yet, and then I just mix it in front of the camera for you guys. So, all right, this is like one thing that I do a lot as an artist is I stack vocals like this.
The record.
So what I'm doing is obviously harmonizing. So this one I got like or I'm hitting something like that, and then here I'm like maybe I'm just like ooh you know what I'm saying? Then you stack those together and you blend them really nicely with the graphics EQ. Make sure you have your mix on that you want. And yeah, because if you don't blend these things together, it's just gonna sound like really fucking muddy and messy, So you have to really like blend the vocals to where they're like really synchronizing in a really beautiful sounding way, kind of like they are right here, It actually took me a little while to, like, you hear that higher sound in the background. Took me a while to hit that because when you start, it starts like, it's just a jump, and I've never did anything like that in my harmonizing shit, or when I'm harmonizing shit. I haven't did that kind of like jump before yet. Still, experimenting with certain things, and right there, the beat was definitely telling me that we needed something like that. So I, tr- you know, I did it, but it took me a little bit to go from the the lower part to that jump of All right.
Yeah, yeah, well, the days get shorter and
So what I'm thinking is like, we started out like this, right?
well, the light arrived.
I, the what I like to do is kind of like start. A lot of people do this. It's not just me. Sometimes you start with the bang. Sometimes you build, and what I'm doing here is building.
Well, the light arrived, hungry, it just ate the dark, and these times are
Chill. We're going to this. Kind of take them away with the harmonies and stuff like that. I add these little yas. Just to add a little bit more in there. Otherwise, it would be very naked with just that.
Yeah.
And then here is where the beat starts to pick up more, so I have to bring more energy, right? And you can see this is on the same line as this, okay? But it sounds different.
Well, the days get shorter and I'm getting older. I should rearrange my days, get my thoughts all in order. I'd rather burn.
Okay? So I'm using that same bass mix.
Well, the days get shorter and I'm getting older.
Okay? And then this one, I added another stack to it to bring more energy and just filler, I guess. That's what you're getting that sound from. You're getting this sound.
Get shorter and I'm getting older.
Instead of
I
this.
should rearrange my days, get my thoughts all in order.
See, so I'm using.
Get shorter and I'm getting older. I should rearrange my days, get my thoughts all in order. I'd rather burn.
That one, my voice was starting to get really raspy from, I don't know, just maybe smoking weed and singing. So I like how that brought some more texture to that though, because otherwise it would have been like really like just kind of like really plain. But you can see that I'm hitting it in a different octave right here, you know? And then when you stack that, it sounds really beautiful together.
Get shorter and I'm getting older. I should rearrange my days, get my thoughts all in order. I'd rather burn. Oh, I'd rather burn. I see the grass is always greener where you water it. So I've been pouring on my tears this year. My crop is finally grown. It's finally grown.
So I'm kind of music's kind of like in a pattern type of thing. So I figured it would be a good time to bring more of those type of vocals back, but it's a little bit different this time. I'm only using a 2-stacker here. And remember from before, you could see how I'm like taking away parts of my voice and, crescendoing it and decrescendoing it. And I'm doing that in certain spots to make it blend really nice together. And maybe John did that. I don't remember who did this, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because that's what we do for each other all the time, and we're just trying to make the best song possible, regardless of if it's my song or his song. We come into it with the same mindset and attitude. So.
Well, the light arrived hungry, it just ate the dark. And these times are cherished before they even start. My oh my, I feel high up the decker. And my oh my, we just made another record. Well, the light arrived hungry, it just ate the dark. And these times are cherished before they even start. My oh my, I feel high up the decker. And my oh my, we just made another record.
This one I'm really proud of right here. We were in the Discord, and John was saying that him and Dill said that I should hit a whistling solo, because this was empty. So like, listen, right? I was kind of letting the beat take it away, and then it comes back into this shit to end the track. See that? But they told me I should try to do a whistling solo, and I was like, yeah, that actually sounds like a dope idea. So I tried. I failed like 3-4 times because I didn't know where to go, and all of a sudden it clicked. I just kept hitting record. I would just go, I would just hit record, and then just fucking freestyle a whistle, and most of them were terrible, like the 3 I did prior. But all of a sudden, that 4th or 5th time, it just kind of clicked, and I was like, I got it. I know where I want to go. So here's the whistling solo. Some more emotion, a little bit more rawness. I don't think this is perfect vocals, but I'm going to leave it as it is because it's the emotion behind it. When I was doing it, I still really felt what I was doing. I think this is the worst part. I think this is the worst I've sang on the whole thing, and it sucks that it ends it, but I'm not going to go redo it. I think it sounds good enough. And then, yeah, it's just ending the track. It's just, And yeah, I mean, there's more that I could probably go over, but we're not going to do that today. I think maybe sometime I'll teach you guys more on BandLab if you guys want, if anybody's interested in maybe using it. But that's how a song is created, And if you are new, it's going to be frustrating as fuck at first, but you have to get through that. If you really want to make music, you got to get through that frustrating part, because it'll be worth it, because then there's not really a better feeling than having nothing here. Like, I mean, like, listen, right? This at one time was just a beat, nothing there. And then you create something. You got something.
I feel high up the decker,
and there's no better feeling than creating something, in my opinion. So it's worth a try if you ever thought about doing it. It's gonna be frustrating. You're gonna make multiple songs that you're not that maybe aren't gonna be good, but no matter what, you'll always be proud at the end of the day when you created something. And then over time, you're gonna get a lot better, and you're gonna start to understand a lot of this more intricate type stuff. And you'll be an artist, But I'm gonna just end it here. I know I left out a lot of shit, but that's fine. Baby steps. At least you got to see a little bit of the process of how this song was created. And yeah. Anyway, You guys take it easy, and thanks for watching. I'll try to make some more videos for you.